On the special simulcast, the Neil Haley Show and the Singularity podcast with our host, Gary Lyon Otto. And we've been going through, now we're on, unbelievably enough, season 3, episode 19. And we're going through questions that Gary has pointed to his audience who reads the book Singularity, Mankind's Search for Relevance. And Gary and I have been kind of having a conversation on each question to really get people to think. Gary, how are you? And we're going to go to this question. I'm excited about it. Does mankind fail evolution's principle of survival of the fittest? This is a very deep question because honestly, this is a huge survival for any human being on this earth right now if they don't understand the capabilities of DI.
Well, absolutely, and it's also we can look at it in the context of the digital intelligence, but we also can look at it in the context of just isolation of humanity. Matter of fact, in the book, I go into it in two ways: I survival of the fittest for humanity isolated, and then I survival of the fittest for applied to the digital world that's coming our way. And but anyway, I think this is an incredible question because what we've been able to do with society, because of the wealth that we've built up, because of the changes in what's important, our mores, what's more important to us, and for instance, people aren't having children anymore. So when you're not having children, are you really competing in the traditional way that you have with evolution? And evolution kind of has lost its way. And at this point, we're not really replacing ourselves, let alone, striving into other biological advancements. As a matter of fact, I think we can make an argument that we are the opposite of that. We are actually devolution rather than evolution. So I go into that. I actually go into this when I go into the book. I say, what's really the state of society? So if we're going to really merge with the digital intelligence, where are we, and do we earn their respect? And so we really have to, assess where we are right now. And I think it's very questionable whether we can reverse where we are now. I think at this point, we are finding that humanity really is sliding. I think we are not, when you're not having children, when you're not, when society makes it so you don't have to work, and when digital intelligence actually kind of is a negative on that, don't you think? Because what happens is it becomes a substitute for our own striving.
Right. It does. And I think that people have a different outlook they have to have and a different outlook in life. A lot of people are denying digital intelligence. It's not capable of taking my job. It's not capable of things. We are just seeing the birth of digital intelligence. This is not 10 years from now. This is not 20 years from now.
No.
This is where we're at right now compared to 2 years ago. You got to listen to this podcast and binge every one of these podcasts because you're going to find out we discovered new things about digital intelligence we never thought about. Only 1% of the United States, or even I'd say in the country, in the world today, really knows about digital intelligence. The 90 other 99% of them are just so far behind. They don't understand what's happening. They think of it as this is just a fad or a phase, or it's going to fail compared to a human being. Explain that, Gary. That's not the case, and we have to start building that survival instinct.
Well, it's absolutely right. And I don't know how we can reverse it, because you can't really change the power of what's going on. You can't change it. All of a sudden people can say, "Oh yeah, we're going to compete with them," and what it can do is it can dishearten people. So if you're disheartening people, your competitive spirit actually declines. And so that's one of the, and that's really could. Some people say, well, I can't get a job because the computer took over my job and things like that. It's going to be, that's a really, really tough thing that we're facing. And the thing is, we can't reverse it. It's going to happen. It's an absolute, there are states that are trying to make it so they can't build these big data centers in their state because they don't want the competition for their people. But the point is, if they don't get it, all the jobs are going to, for the data centers themselves, are going to go to the states that do do want to enhance our position, and we have to do it because we know China's doing it, and I'm not so sure that Europe's doing very much of it. It doesn't seem like they're going very far, but really our big competition is China.
No
And
doubt. Yeah.
Russia would like to be, but I don't think they have the technology, the approach where China has already, and we have gone, or we're leaving those countries in the dust at this point.
Yeah, we're definitely leaving those countries. But so I just don't know. I mean, data centers. Let's say we stop building data centers here, and we then it ends up in another country, right? And then basically, still the big powerhouses aren't going to disappear. OpenAI, Google, uh,
Dropping.
Anthropic are not going to disappear just because we don't have data centers in the United States. It's just going to make us a weak power. Very that people are going to say the skill sets of people in Asia, the skill sets in people in other European countries potentially are much stronger than us. This is the point people understand. You can't stop this train from going, but we have to have that survival mechanism in us. And what I would, my advice for people right now is how far can I get ahead in DI every week? What time can I put into my business or my job that I'm going to learn DI in a way so I can't be replaced now? Because at one point you will be replaced. You will be running DI. It'll be like machinery in a factory where you'll no longer do the factory style. You'll have to run that machinery. And the more you understand it, the more you'll be able to make that transition very smoothly.
Well, we hope. We hope. We have to be interesting to DI. That's kind of how do we stay interesting to them? That at this point, if we're going to be the fittest, we have to be enough of a challenge from the standpoint of having thoughts that are then and aspects of us that are attractive to it. I don't know how long we can do that. I think it seems to me that they're moving so fast. That's the problem. The separation is just becoming it just becomes geometric. We just I can't even imagine how fast things are changing and how where this whole thing goes. But it's just going back to our biological selves. Biology changes very slowly, and it took look how many billions of years it took evolution to get to humanity. And so the thing is that we can change ourselves, and I think we will do bioengineering. That's one of the chapters I go into is our symbiotic relationship, where we actually start to find, first of all, we can biologically engineer. Second of all, what kind of digital connections can we make? And we've talked about that also in one of our sessions. But I don't know. I think it's really the challenge. It really would leave the question, but I'm afraid that we are genetically reverse engineering just because what's the best is not, the ones who have the most children are the ones that are not aspiring in challenges to this, to make themselves better. We're finding out the people that have the really good professions don't have children. So and so that changes everything. So
Oh, that's something that I didn't know that you discovered. That's pretty wild to know that. You've seen the people that are the most successful in life don't have many children.
yeah, yeah. I mean, think about it. Women have really ascended in the digital world. It's not like this is all brain. It's all brawn that men used to be able to dominate. Now, women can achieve great success and are moving up. They're not just typists and secretaries and nurses and so forth. They're moving into major positions. And so that if you have a really great job, are you going to give it up to have children? Well, a lot of people are choosing not to. And that's a shame because they're the ones, those are the families that have the greatest to give to this society. So it's a problem, and I don't see anything that's going to reverse that, at least in our time frames. So this is where we
We'll
stand.
find out.
The
All
concern
right.
that's going to happen to
Yeah.
evolution.
So if you want to have more questions to ponder about DI, which we call digital intelligence, you got to pick up Singularity, Mankind Search for Relevance by going to www Gary and Lyon spelled Lyon Otto.net. And also, if you want to pick up some of Gary's political books, go to absolutepowerbooks.com. Appreciate it, Gary.
Thank you very much, Neil.
All right. That was a special simulcast Neil Haley Show on the Singularity podcast.